Okay, greetings, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you turning out. Sorry about yesterday. Even more sorry about today. But somehow, some way, I think we got video, I think we got audio, just like we do twice a day for I don't know how many years now, but hey, happy Sunday, right? All right, somebody in the chat box, we're going to move quick. I never intended to keep you here very long today, just long enough to answer any questions. We've had 4+ weeks now, to ask questions, answer questions, delve into, do mentoring sessions, but today's different, right? So, what I want to do initially, had everything laid out real pretty like I did, and then I had to shut it all down because I had not exercised proper computer hygiene and prepared it all. Okay, there's that. Yeah. Okay. Here's sort of a thumbnail of what we're gonna cover here. Get it up there. LOGIC247, where opportunity finds you. We'll cover what is LOGIC247. Ask yourself this: as a trader, most of your time is spent. And number 3, how could you better spend your time? Now, I think most of you that are here today probably know me. You probably know CFRN. You've tuned into the radio program, or you're a CFRN partner, or you've taken the trial. We've been around since 2005, and some of you I know actually have been around with us since 2005. So I won't go into long introductions, any stories. If you want to hear that, there's 13 years of podcasts out there, daily podcasts. You could go and listen to them all and get to know me as much as you might want to. Okay? Don't know that you want to, but if you want to, you certainly could. Now, I'm going to start this off real official-like, as they do, by telling you you got to be out of your mind for even being here. Okay? Okay. The website, eminitrading.com. Depending on the browser that you load, what's going to happen, you're going to hear a little sound file, which I thought was, clever to a degree. I don't know if I mentioned that today is the 19th day of August, 2018. It's a Sunday afternoon prior to the Globex Open, and we do have to keep our eye on the clock for the Globex Open because the Globex Open is pretty important. Now, Beat the Market Incorporated. Hopefully everybody understands the tongue-in-cheek nature of that. With LOGIC247, opportunity finds you. Beat the markets. I think we all know that's a mission impossible. The market has greater leverage, deeper pockets, and a never-ending stream of eager new traders to provide liquidity. So if beating the market is a mission impossible, what is a possible mission? Well, the market is nothing more than powerful, stored up, neutral energy. Neutral in that it's like a $100 bill. If you use that $100 bill to feed a hungry child, the expression on Ben Franklin's face does not change. If you spend that $100 bill, same bill, you steal it from the kids and you build a dirty bomb, Ben never changes the expression on his face. Neutral. Like the internet. It can be used for good or evil, I suppose. Now, many of us fall into the trap early on in trading where we view the market as our adversary, something that we have to learn how to conquer, defeat, beat, outrun, outrace, outthink, and we can do none of those things. The sooner we accept that, the sooner going to work every day stops being a fight and actually can become rather pleasurable. Understanding that you're not going to beat the market. So what's the old saying? If you can't beat them, join them. Make the market your friend. Make the market your business partner. It is possible, and we don't hold a patent on that, but in a minute I'm going to talk to you about more of how you can actually do that. But first, I need to put the fear of God in you and tell you this. Trading is risky. It is. Every trade that we put on, we utilize what we call aggressive risk management. So every trade has a hard stop all the time. Trading is risky. It's not suitable for all people. Hey, I'm never going to play b-ball for a living, that's for sure. Basketball is not suitable for all people. Consult with a licensed investment professional before making any investment decision. Okay. Now, does that mean there's a trade set up on the S&P 500 to go short? Like, should you call somebody to make sure it's okay to take that trade? Well, you could. No, you should sit down with them in the beginning. And this is something we've always encouraged. If you're headed down this road of building a trading business, if your mentality is, I'm going to take a shot at it. Yeah, I'm going to roll the dice and see what happens. Well, maybe that money could go to some good charity. I don't know, because it won't be long for your pocket. You have to view your trading business as you would any other business opportunity. Plain and simple. That's how you got to approach it. So one of the first things we have you do is we have you write a business plan and a trading plan following a formula that we give you, but it's kind of a you fill in the blanks as they apply to you. Then you go and sit with your accountant, your CPA, whoever does your books, your taxes. You look them in the eye and you say, I have decided to learn how to trade Emini Futures. Now, this is unless you're already an accomplished trader and you've already got all this set up. But for new people, or people who have struggled and not succeeded, I'm sharing with you right now one of the reasons that you didn't succeed, okay? And how we're going to hopefully help you fix that. You're going to admit to another human being, not just some disembodied voice on the radio or in the chat room or over the telephone, but somebody you've known for a while. And you're going to tell them what you're about to do. If you can't look them in the eye and tell them that's what you're about to do, then you really don't have any confidence in what you're about to do, and you really shouldn't be doing it. Which is why we make you do it, or suggest. We can't make you do anything. The reason I'm here today, Mr. CPA, is because I need you to tell me if my new company, ABC Trading, should be an LLC, should it be an S Corp? I defer to you. Based on my personal tax situation, what do you suggest? Okay, great. You say LLC, I'm with you. You draw up the paperwork, I'll be back by later in the week to sign it. Okay. As soon as you pick up that paperwork, you go to the bank, you open a bank account in that name. Okay, see, you've really put your foot in it now. It's no longer, taking a shot. It's no longer just rolling the dice. You've committed. Now, if you committed and bought a Subway sandwich franchise shop, if after a few days you weren't selling any sandwiches, you'd start to get worried, right? I'll tell you this, it takes longer to learn how to trade than it does to make a sandwich. But to run a successful sandwich operation, even as a franchise, all the rules are carved in stone. It's a learning process, but even more so with trading. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? There's nobody out there in the sandwich industry trying to trick you into buying some kind of new super duper automated bologna slicer or a solar bread baker. There's nobody trying to steal all your money before you even get to Sandwich Street. But yet, in the investment and trading business, everywhere you turn, every dark alley you shine a light into, there's somebody there trying to convince you that there is a way to do what God says you can't do. And that's know the future. He just did not build us that way. It's his choice, his decision. So, you understand that it's risky. You understand that you need to treat it like a business. The more you treat it like a business, the more it will act like a business. The second you start to treat it like gambling, I promise you, you will get gambling results. This information on our website during this presentation, it is not a solicitation to buy or sell any security. We are a provider of education, news, and training. Use of this website and services affirms you have read all risk disclosure and disclaimers at www.cfrn.net. By the way, you don't need the W's anymore. If you've not done so, please do so before proceeding. Okay? I don't know any clearer way to say it other than this is a business based on probabilities that includes considerable risk. You could lose it all. And if you don't get an education with us or find a viable trading strategy or methodology with us, please, I encourage you, do get one somewhere. Okay? All right. So we've covered all of that. And I'm sure you've all, I think, been to the website. Okay. It just talks about what our vision is. I called it, I think, somewhere a paradigm shift, which I thought was pretty clever. A paradigm shift. Actually, it's looking at the business of trading differently. For so long, so many people have just been completely cut out of the picture because they have a day job. And they need the day job and they need the benefits. They understand there's a possibility that if they learn how to trade and trade well, that they could earn more than what they earn at their job and buy their own health insurance. But they also know that there's no guarantee, and there's never been a way to really kind of, straddle two horses as you cross the river. Now there is. LOGIC247 is a Emini and other futures trade alert service delivered in real time 24/7. Think of it as a faucet, an opportunity faucet. When you're ready to trade, you turn it on. When you're done, you turn it off. When you turn it back on, some stuff will have backed up in the pipeline. You'll take a glance at that, see is any of it still something that you might choose to put to use. And as you're doing that, new things will start to dribble out the end of the pipeline, so that you always have an inventory of trading opportunities, high probability, low risk trading opportunities that have in fact been vetted 100%. Now, this next little question here, it just says, as a trader, most of your time is spent fill in the blank. So let me get this chat box open, find out if anybody can even see or hear me. Let's see, Pecan wanted to know, how long do I have to sit and stare at a blank screen? I'm so sorry I wasn't able to help you. Oh, that breaks my heart. I am sorry that that happened, but anyway. Hi, VJ. DJ, don't say that. You can say my name, but don't put that in front of it. Okay, Barb wigged out and left. Keith, you got sound and picture now? Somebody. Oh, I see. I got to scroll down past the complaints. Or the notifications. Let me just scroll all the way to the bottom. Okay, there's Val. Yay, Valerie. And Keith says, yes, Fitzroy was sitting. Yes, sound and picture. Wow. We hit the daily double, or the trifecta. Hey, Joseph, all the way from the UK. I was expecting an email, I think, from you that did not come, and that's okay. Whenever you're ready, shoot me one. Okie doke, okie doke. This is my first introduction to you. Should I be in this meeting? Oh, yeah, Keith, you're absolutely welcome. It's open to the public. Gosh, I guess you have one of those sort of, I don't want to say your name's ordinary, but your name appeared as someone I know, but I'm glad you're here. And so my name's Dwayne. I started CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network, in 2005. Prior to that, I was the founder of Christian Traders. CT Global Media is the umbrella over everything. And I had a previous company before, and as I got into radio and switched from equities to futures and began training and doing radio full time, I sold my other company. Been doing this full time now since really 2005. There's a long story. I'll be more than happy to do a mentoring session with you sometime. Actually, on our website, you can kind of read up quite a bit on my personal history, the history of the company, how it came into be. And for anyone who's never read it and has an interest in reading it, there's a short article over on, I think, Seeking Alpha. But if you just Google God Chasers and Emini Traders, God Chasers and Emini Traders, if you Google that, it should pop up, and wherever it's been reprinted, you can just click it. It's about a 5 to 10 minute read. It's no literary masterpiece. It's just an explanation of who we are, of what we do, why we do it, and why we have the name we do. LOGIC247, which is on the EminiTradingSystem.com website, is a separate entity, but still under the umbrella, still part of the family. But sometimes you gotta draw some lines to keep things in perspective, because what do you just do? All right, let me scroll down some more. Let's see what else we got in here. So whoever's here, if you don't know me, you want to get to know me, you can book a one-on-one mentoring session, and we'll spend 45 minutes together. Can you trade per market? Boyd, phrase that question again so I make sure I know what I'm answering. Hey, Dwayne, good afternoon. When do you do the final recap for the alerts? Well, on the beta, those are completely done. And when we rolled out in real time this week, I have made sure that each individual alert that can be recapped has been recapped. Now, is my spreadsheet friend here? I'm looking for him. He may be... Hey, Russell, did you have any luck plugging those numbers into that sheet? If so, you can just type it into the bottom. And oh, Gary, in one of the alerts you mentioned start your EOW process. What do you mean by that? Just end of week. Oh, you're working on it as we speak? Okay, don't rush yourself. If you get it done by the time we're done, great. If not, I'll send it to him later. If we can give it to him today, that'll be great. Now, it says up here, as a trader, most of your time is spent, fill in the blank, looking for good trading opportunities. if you spend 2 hours at the trading desk, and depending upon your style of trading, keep in mind trading and investing are two different things, but if you spent 2 hours at the trading desk, wherever that is, you might spend, I don't know, 5-10 minutes actually trading. The idea is that you're no longer chained to a desk. You're no longer, glued to the charts 10, 12, 18 hours a day, searching for, an opportunity that is worth you investing your 5 or 10 minutes in to see the trade through. So if we can pull that part out, if we can separate the busy work, it's not grunt work because it's really important work. It's kind of the crux of the apostrophe. But it allows you to focus on execution and management. Execution and management. I do believe I hear someone in the background. I'm going to have to check and see who. Is that Michael? I don't know. Let me see. A ton of you guys turned out on a Sunday afternoon, and that's kind of exciting. Okay, no, I'm logged in twice. I did have another mic on the other side of the room turned in. That might be it. It will only have the beta numbers, Russell. Okay, that's fine. You do have the current week's numbers, correct? Because I wrote them all down the other day, but then there was a few more, so I had to add them in. But whatever you got, I just appreciate the fact that you were willing to pitch in and do that. Gary, as far as the end of the week process, okay, that just means whatever it is you do as part of your trading business, how do you wind down? Okay, once you make your last trade for the week, I don't suppose you just up and dash out. You probably want to do your own recap, how many trades were taken, whatever kind of bookkeeping, organization, whatever it is that you feel that you should do. Part of that should be sending some kind of notification to Chicago, unless you have a standing order in with your broker. Every Friday, send me 75% of that week's income. On any given week, send me 75%. Once you build your account to a certain size, you don't want to just keep, stuffing money in that account. In the event of a flash crash, it can be gone in the blink of an eye. Okay? If you have earned the right to trade 5 contracts, you do not need $60,000 in your trading account. Well, but that's the money I have set aside for trading. Beautiful. Do this. Sit with your broker. You're now trading 5 contracts, and soon you'll be adding your 6th. Determine how much money you need in the active trading account to cover drawdowns, stop outs, whatever might happen, knowing that if it need be, you can add some more. But everything that you don't absolutely need, we're going to move that over and park it somewhere in an interest-bearing account. We're not parking it there for the purpose of the interest, because interest doesn't pay a whole heck of a lot these days. It's safety. We want it to be separated from your active trading account, because in the event of a flash crash and your hard stop gets jumped, it doesn't happen often, but it can. All right, but if the money's not in the account, they can't take it. And if your stop got jumped on their platform, chances are they're not coming after you for it. But if it's there, it's just a function of math. So get with your broker. Get with Bert if he's your broker, 866-928-3310. And get a plan of action. Okay, you can, and even instruct your broker, every time I hit this dollar amount, you send this much to my other account, and you send this much to me. However you want to do it, just make sure you do it. Okay. Now, so what are the questions? VJ, you asked, how much do you charge for your mentoring? Okay, anyone who is a CFRN partner or someone who is a member of LOGIC247, and many are both, you have access to unlimited one-on-one personal mentoring. There will always be group instruction. CFRN, our live training room is open from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. So someone who enters that 90-day mentoring program, they get 90 days, 5 days a week of group classroom instruction in live markets. Not talking theory, putting on and taking off trades. Live in real time. Okay? When that 90-day period ends, if you want to remain an active partner, you can do that. There's a monthly maintenance fee, but everything stays the same, and you still have access to unlimited one-on-one mentoring. Now, the same will apply for those who participate in LOGIC247. The lifetime comes with unlimited one-on-one mentoring. That means, you know, the amazing thing is, most of my contemporaries in this industry, when they first read that I had published unlimited one-on-one mentoring, they said, "What are you crazy? You'll never get any sleep." And I go, you know, we seem to attract a certain element of people that no one has ever abused that. Each session's 45 minutes. I keep it to 45 minutes because a person can only absorb so much in 45 minutes. Absorb it, retain it, you know, and then utilize it. The most anyone has ever asked for is 2 sessions in a week, which I've honored. And that quickly dropped off to 1 a week, and then 1 every 2 weeks. And then, you know, pretty soon I'm calling them, "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, I'm doing great, man. I've been meaning to call and say thanks." So, well, you're welcome. So that's the answer to that. So let's see. Jenny, I think you had a question. Scrolling. A lot of questions. Now, if you get the feeling that I might have missed your question somehow, copy and paste it into the bottom. I won't get angry. I will just do my best to answer it for you. Okay. We're scrolling. Boy, did you ever re-answer that question? Can you trade per market? Did you ever re-answer that? I'm just going to start at the bottom and work up. That seems to be easiest. Our CFRN partner and LOGIC247, 2 separate things. Absolutely. Yes, they are 2 separate things. Gary, you may want to post the link for your mentoring sessions. Yeah, Gary, you know, that's probably a good idea. So I'll do that. CFRN.net/Emini personal mentoring. But let me type it in. Send. Okay, maybe I can get it in before another. Okay, I got it in. Yeah, I misspelled it too. That's great. God's way of keeping you humble. Emini Personal Mentoring. All right, that's the right one. cfrn.net/emini-personal-mentoring. It's in the chat box. Just copy and paste it somewhere. And you can go there, pick a day, pick a time that's convenient for you. About 5 minutes before the session, you'll get an email, and that will have the link. All you got to do is click it, and instead of a GoToWebinar environment, we'll go to a GoToMeeting room. It'll just be you and I, and we'll speak as though we were having a normal telephone conversation as we look at the charts. And so you don't have to do all the typing. Alan. Yes, Alan, you know what? Let me make another big. I think I already made that note, but I'm making it again. So, yes, sir, I will. And you know what? Now, here's how it goes. When Globex opens, I typically do the concierge trade alerts first. I then take a run through any of the alerts. I'm kind of watching the concierge and alert, and I'm kind of doing them at the same time, if you know what I mean. Then I do the weekly trading zones. Okay. Now, partners do not get the weekly trading zones until 6:15 a.m. Eastern every Monday morning before Wall Street wakes up. So I think that's going to play out the same way for everyone involved here. They've been disseminated at that time since December 14th of 2009. And for those who aren't familiar with the weekly trading zones, I'm not going to try to sell you on how awesome they are or anything. You've either been around, hung around, and you know what happens. Price consolidates at a zone, moves to the zone overhead, consolidates, and then moves to the zone overhead. Each time it reaches a new zone. Okay, now once these are published on Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern, they don't change. They're carved in stone for the entire week. This is also the first time ever that the weekly trading zones have been extended to anyone who was not a CFRN partner. But you're still kind of like family, so we're going to take a run with this. But I assure you, the moment I find my data on somebody else's newsletter, email, website, server, it'll stop. Okay, just saying. I owe too much to too many partners who have put their faith, trust, and been loyal with us, and I'm not going to jeopardize their financial future. Okay, so here we go. Here's a fun time. From zone at 2840 up to 2850, that's 10 points. All right, so beginning at 10 o'clock in the morning, we run up 10 points. It's $500 per contract traded. Back down, that's another $500 per contract traded. Back up, we miss it by a couple of ticks. The zones are in area. That'll happen. So what do you have? 500 up, but 1,000 down, and almost 1,500 up. That means almost 2,000 down. These are 30-minute candles, and then back down to the zone, consolidate as we would expect, leg and a retrace, and bang, right up to the next zone. Market's always trying to go somewhere, and it will most often hole up at a weekly trading zone as it decides where it's going next. Now, when you have the ability to take the LOGIC247 alerts, layer them on a chart such as this, where you have your zones, because as price is rising, we expect this to be good resistance until proven otherwise. When it moves through, we expect it to pull back to the zone, confirm good support, and continue on its path to the zone overhead. These are last week's zones. They will change. The new ones will be published 6:15 tomorrow. However, as our audience has found, holding on to these zones from the previous week, they still got plenty of power in them. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And no matter what market we're on, it's just what the zones do. They go from zone to zone to zone. Try to get back. It's an area, couldn't quite make it. Back to the zone, consolidation. We got a leg, we got to retrace. And we closed, this 30-minute candle closed Friday on its high with no wick. So it doesn't get any more bullish than that. The world is expecting a move higher or a gap higher open tonight. If we get that, we'll trade that. If the market hands us a surprise, we won't be surprised. We'll be ready. All right. I'm getting a couple questions. Can I get the trading zones? Do the weekly zones have a fee? No. And I guess yes. The weekly trading zones are my gift to my traders who have decided to show their loyalty to CFRN by extending their time and treasure to learn our methodology and be a part of our community. So every Monday morning, I give them the gift of weekly trading zones. Those who partake in the lifetime membership of LOGIC247, I'm going to extend that same gift to you every Monday morning. So you're either an active partner, you're a member of LOGIC247, and as I said, many of you are both. Okay, Scott says, new here. I'm waiting to find out what LOGIC247 is. I have impression that it's an automated system. Is that correct? No. Does it actually take the trades or just send out the alerts? Thanks. It is not an automated trading system. I do not believe in automated trading systems. I have never seen one, found one, or even heard of one that was consistently profitable, except from the person who created it. I'm not casting any aspersions. My mind would be open to that had I not tried it in my early years myself and unable to succeed. Well, there's a lot of smarter guys out there than me, so let me go find one of these guys that's finally nailed it. Was it 13 years later? I just haven't found it. So here's what LOGIC247 is. It's an opportunity spigot. When you are ready to sit down and trade, whether that's at your desk from 9 to 5 or in a coffee shop, Starbucks in Berlin, you whip out your laptop, you turn on L247, it starts flowing. Anything that's come out since you shut it off when you got ready to go to bed or just stopped trading yesterday, you'll look at the ones that have backed up since then. Are any of them still usable? Have some triggered, and now they're coming back for their second trigger, their third trigger. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Okay. First thing you'll do is go through your inventory of opportunities to see which ones are still viable since you shut it off. And of course, you'll be observing everything new that comes down the pipe. Okay. If you want to know what an alert looks like, then you should go to the original beta test. You can walk through every single alert that was issued, every one that ran to the trigger, every one that got stopped out, every one that didn't trigger, all the commentary, bad jokes, you know, it is preserved as a museum piece. You can walk the halls, walk the aisles, and observe everything that happened. You can then also go to the public recap channel on Telegram. And there, what I've done is I've taken the results of each trade alert and posted just the results. Always encouraging you to go back and read the original notes, because that's how you learn. I don't want this to be some black box thing. I want you to understand what we're trading, why we're trading it, so that you learn how to trade. Some people don't want to learn how to trade. They just want somebody to give them the number so that they can pull the trigger, and that's okay. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there is a difference. And so if you want to use this as a 9 to 5 service, you can. If you want to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and use it, you can. When you come home from work at 7 at night, you can. If you want to get up 2 hours early, before and during lunch, you can. Constant stream. This doesn't mean every 30 seconds something is coming down the pipe. We look at all futures markets, and there's almost always some opportunity happening somewhere, which is why there'll be open alerts. But I will not send anything out just to be sending it out. Gosh, I haven't sent anything out in 2 hours. Boy, I better get something out. No. Unless it ticks all the boxes on high probability, low risk, I will not send it out. So I could sit here and try to explain to you, and that would take a long time. Go to the link. If you go to eminitrading.com, you'll find the link that allows you to go to the Telegram channel. If you don't have Telegram, go to telegram.org, put it on your phone, put it on your tablet, put it on your desktop. This means no matter where you are, day or night, Asia, Russia, Cleveland, if there's an alert and you want to know, you'll know. If you don't want to know, you've turned off notification, and it goes into the holding pen waiting for you to turn it back on. So once the opportunity is identified in a futures market, from currencies to livestock to agriculture to the indices to the precious metals, you name it, if it's a futures contract, a futures market, we have our eyes on it. Some of the alerts have one target. Some alerts have 2 targets. Some alerts have as many as 3 and even 4 targets. When you enter into one of those types of trades, a 4 target trade, and it's already 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you have to be consciously aware of the time, okay? Because should the market close and you still have an open trade, your day margins are going to increase substantially, and you might not have enough in your account to cover that, which results in a margin call. And not only a margin call, but you're forced to sit in the penalty box the entire session. They won't let you trade. So keep your eye on the clock. Now, you should talk to your brokers about overnight margins. Some of these opportunities certainly are on Globex and the overnight session. Here's the difference. If you enter the trade at 6 p.m. Eastern or after, that is considered a day trade, a day rate. S&P, Russell, NASDAQ, S&P, Russell, NASDAQ, Dow, $500 per contract. With the S&P, you're controlling $130,000 of equity for $500. But if you hold that order open past the 5 o'clock closing bell, it immediately goes to the full margin, 5 grand. Okay? So if you're trading 10 contracts, well, you can do that with 5 grand. The bell rings, now suddenly it's 50 grand. Okay? And you really shouldn't have that much money in your account anyway, unless you're a, very experienced trader with a great track record, and you've earned the right to trade that way. Can I show you an example of what the trade alert looks like? Yeah, sure, Tom. Now, I'm gonna pull up the Telegram and show you. Is there anyone here who does not know how to go to Telegram and how to look at every one of the alerts that went out? Because that might be really important. So let me just type it in. Telegram.org. Send to all. Oh, can never get it. Try it again. .org, send to all. Okay. There is so much documentation. You'll find it very, very simple to use. I'm going to show it to you right now. Show you how simple it is to navigate. Okay. Here we go. Now, up at the very top, this is, when you see the knight kneeling, this was the original beta test that went on for 3 weeks. Okay? This was the end of the beta right here. We've been at it hard for 3 weeks. As you scroll up through here, you'll see day by day, alert by alert, exactly what everything looked like. Now, some of the alerts will carry extensive commentary because I'm teaching you a concept that will carry over into all of your trading, all of your days. Reading this, understanding this, bringing questions about this to your mentoring session, very important. Okay? Very, very important. This is where the learning takes place. So to grab any one of these, let's just, okay. What was this? Go look at the final 30-minute candle today on Crude. We dropped $800 per contract in 30 minutes or less. However, buyers swept in at $68 and managed to drive it all the way back to $68.43. Last 30-minute candle opened at $68.76, had a high of $68.78 and a low of $67.90 and a close here. Volume was over 10,000 contracts, or equal to roughly the 3 preceding 30-minute candles combined. And I'm not posing a question to you, bullish or bearish. Okay, the fall was bearish, however the recovery very bullish. Buyers and or the computer-generated trades, obviously $68 as a good price. Can they build on that? What will we see a carry through when markets reopen at 6 p.m. EDT? I'm not psychic. In other words, I don't know. Okay? I'll never pull your leg. There's lots. You read in here lots about I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. Okay? That's a theme. I don't know. You don't know. Nor does anyone else. Now, some people are going to make you think they know. If we all venture a guess, I'm sure half of us would be right. If you're in the 50% that nails it, don't forget, it doesn't mean you're smart. It means you made a lucky guess. It's a bit like saying, you know, we're definitely going to go up from here unless we start to break down. Better than guessing is learning to read the chart and understand what is taking place. This is what I call pretty obvious. Has the market ever surprised you? You will learn to use the element of surprise to your benefit if you're invited to continue after the beta test. Now that I got that out, consider all of the above. If beta number 84 triggers, the zone overhead is this number here. So why is the target only 69.50? I'm conservative. I'm also a helicopter mother hen trying to watch out for you. If price makes it through that WTZ and then confirms on the pullback, the next WTZ overhead is $900 per contract away. Just a note to help you on your journey from chaos to clarity. So if most chart readers anticipate a rally based on the recovery going into the close, what if they get surprised? As their stops trigger, and by the way, nobody ran their stops. That's just an urban goof. On the way down, price could accelerate, and now we have momentum move on our hands. 68.25 to 68 would be a start. We then have 30 points before we get to the weekly trading zone below. The lowest weekly trading zone on crude for the week is that. If 84 fails to trigger, this smells a lot like 87. No emotion, no favorites, no bias, no fear. We're an equal opportunity trader. Are you? Now the final recap. Now if you go back and look at that chart, you're going to go, ah, come on. Now he knew that was going to happen. Well, those who were watching live in real time saw that come out during 6 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. Eastern. I had an idea. I had a thought. I wasn't predicting. I wasn't prophesying. But it looked like I had orchestrated it when it was over. You see, the market does the same thing day after day after day, but in a slightly different way. Now, if most chart readers anticipate a rally based on the recovery going into the close, what if they get surprised? Remember, nobody ran their stops, but what ends up happening as their stops do get hit, that's why we have stops, the move to the downside could accelerate. It could become a momentum move. 68.25 to 68. We then have 30 points to the zone below, lowest weekly trading zone. Bottom line, final recap, both triggers were hit twice. First leg was worth $250 per contract. The second leg was worth $300 per contract, or $550 per contract times 2, or $1,000 per contract, $1,100, based on both triggers. However, for the record, we don't count, even though we know and teach important prices, important areas are almost always tested, and a lot of our experienced traders would have taken that second leg as well, that second opportunity, that second trigger. There's no obligation to, you're not expected to, and so when we enter it into the official record, it's not going to count the 2, it's only going to count it one time. Okay, so where you will have alerts that are drawn out like that, okay, you'll find some that are quite brief. Beta 84. Consider being long crude 89.30 or 69.30 to 69.50 if it presents. The recap, no trigger. These say no trigger still open, but they have since been resolved and going to the, well, like right here, beta 82, okay? So now you jump over to the public recap channel and you scroll up to beta 82 to find out what the final result is. The beautiful part of this is when you click here and then go back here, you're still at 82. The initial recap, there was no trigger, still open, and we eventually classified it final. When you see final, that's it. It's done. 83, final price reached target of 5 points. So what was beta 83? Beta 83 was considered being long the Russell, 1682 to 1687 if the opportunity presents. So I won't go through these anymore, because if this is something that you have an interest in, you need to be in here reading these, learning, checking, verifying, making sure that this is something that you can put to use in your trading. I certainly wish you would have all been on the beta. You know, we certainly banged the gong and offered, and it was free. And we had quite a number that turned out. I just wish you could have all been there. So we get back to these questions. Zarir, how do I read these messages? Are you talking about the public Telegram messages, Zarir? Okay. First thing you have to do is you have to go to telegram.org. Okay. Now, once you go to telegram.org, you will utilize these links right here that I'm going to give you in the chat box. Okay, what you have the invitation link for the public beta. You have the invitation link for the public beta recap. And you have the invitation link for the public beta discussion. Okay? So there's the original museum where the beta went down. Second is where I went back and just put the final results in an orderly fashion, making it easier for you to reference back and forth. And the third is the public discussion group. If you have questions, you can post them there. If I pass through, I'll answer them. If one of the other beta testers passes through, they'll be kind enough to answer them for you also. And then at some point, once you understand how things work, you might wander in and see there's a question hanging out there, and you would type in, well, to the best of my knowledge, the answer is, but you might want to check with somebody else. Or if I'm not correct, somebody correct me. It's all transparent. It's all out in the open. No black box baloney. It is something I certainly wish that I had had access to when I made my move from fundamental stocks to technical futures back in 2005. However, there was no such thing available. Interestingly enough, 13 years later, there's one thing available, and you're looking at it. Okay, Jenny, Dwayne, my earlier question, got lost reposting. Do I put on the sell and stop orders the moment I execute my alert? Okay, Jenny. We need to do a mentoring session. Okay, when the alert comes through, if the trigger is imminent, then sure, you can go ahead and get your DOM set up. You're always going to buy on a stop or sell on a stop. Most of us think of stops as stop losses. So why they decided to call them buy stops and sell stops, I don't think they could have made it any more confusing if they had tried. But they certainly managed to make it confusing. But that's the terminology they chose way before I came along. Okay? So you're approaching the trigger, okay, until you know where to put your stop loss, you can't fully put the order on, okay? I teach you in the one-on-one mentoring sessions, and as we do our active member group sessions, we'll go over them in group, and we're thinking about combining you guys with the partners workshop on Thursday night. There's no final decision yet, but it's possible. I think you guys could benefit from each other greatly. Now, Jenny, you got the videos regarding stop placement. Did you understand those? And is there anything that you don't understand that maybe I could just answer real quick here? Russell says, sent the beta, still working on the form. However, wanted to give you this to display before the class ends. Russell, thank you. You are one of the good guys. All right, so let me pull this down, and I'm going to get the spreadsheet that Russell was kind enough to volunteer to work on and fix for us. Now, I wrote some powerful words the other night somewhere about how I've never been big on the charts, the graphs, the spreadsheets. The reason being is because when a person sees it in a chart or a graph or a spreadsheet, all of a sudden it's the gospel truth. Well, it's got to be true. It was in a spreadsheet. No. Spreadsheets, charts, and graphs are exactly how unscrupulous vendors prey on their next victim. I mean, my goodness, if you go to that one website where it says 87% win ratio, well, it must be true, right? It's on the internet. Or our lucky subscribers were able to take advantage of this huge move that we knew about in advance. Did your guru tell you that? You know? Okay. So you had one that made a nice run. What about the 74 before that? Could we talk about those? See, we don't talk about just the ones that smell good. We talk about them all because no one else does, and it's the right thing to do. To sweep it under the carpet as if it never happened or never existed, that's just wrong. So let me open up what you sent me here, Russell, and I really appreciate you doing that. Okay, looks like it wants me to download spreadsheet, and if I had not had a 40-hour-a-week job in high school, I would have absolutely stayed awake for the accounting class and learned how to do this stuff. You know, Russell, how about if you don't, if you don't want to, please, it's okay. If I opened your mic for a couple moments, could you explain to folks what they're looking at? Because I'm going to give them all a copy of this, but I want to make sure, and rather than me figure it out, just tell me if you're up for it. Oh, you got to hit, oh, you know, check this out. I always encourage everybody to go to Target, go to Kmart, get the $20. I got this whole long story about getting a headset. Just grab the earbuds that came with your iPhone. I don't know how that missed me for so long until I was in a mentoring session the other day. The guy's like, hang on, let me get my earphones. He said, I go, wait a minute, you talking about what you plug into your iPhone? He goes, yeah. The guy sounded like a rock star. So for those of you that don't have a fancy pants headset, and don't spend a lot of money on a headset if you want to get one. The $20 ones work for what we do. The $20 ones are every bit as good as the $200 ones. Better. I've taken back $200 ones, never took back a $20 one because they always work. So Russell will be back in just a second with a headset. Let's see. All right, he's got the day. We started the beta. Now, this is the beta. Now, he's also going to do what happened this past week when we rolled out our first week live in real time. So from 7:16 to 8:03. Alerts. 39. Triggered 31. No, now I've got that data set. Let me pull it out. Make sure he and I are tracking on the same page. I think that's it. You back, Russell? You back? Okay, now, okay, I've got up the screen and you're ready. So let me open up your microphone. Okay, opening your mic. Hey, Russell, welcome to the welcome to the webinar. Said you read
Hello, Dwayne. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a Q&A session. Welcome to the Q&A session. Hey,
Thank
man,
you so much.
Thank you so much for the work that you did. I really appreciate it. Now, on the beta, we originally had a total of 113 alerts, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Maybe you could just walk the folks and tell me how you need me to scroll around or anything, and I'll do that.
Yeah, if you'll just scroll to the top of the page, so 7:16. What I'm doing is the columns A through J will not be anything that can be edited on the Excel spreadsheet. Everything is going to be put in from columns K and over. And then the numbers that are underneath A through J, the LOGIC247 Opportunity Find Use area, all of those will automatically calculate based upon what you put in.
Oh, A through J up here. Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to, let's go to K2, which is the CL column that's in orange.
Okay.
And right below that, you've got the first day. So you gave an alert for the oil.
Crude
oil, CL. TH represents target was hit.
Okay.
If you remove that, if you just put your cursor in there, I think I've freed it up to where you can actually delete that for a moment.
So highlight it and then just hit delete on my keyboard?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll notice the trigger on the, what is it, column C, row 3, went from 3 to 2, as did the alerts went to 2, because now you only gave 2 alerts that day, theoretically. We know that's not true. You gave a third one. So now if you go back in and put in TH again.
TH.
For target hit.
Uh-huh.
Press enter. And you'll notice your alerts and your trigger go back into 3. So what that means is that you gave the trigger, and honoring your stops and following your stops, it went down and actually got to your target that you suggested.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's up to the individual user if they want to continue to let it run, or if they want to just go ahead and be satisfied with the target and wait for the next trade. Example number 2 would be right next to it, the ES. So
okay. Right here.
That one has a TH2 on it. So that alert triggered, and it gave you the opportunity to not only hit the first target, but it went to the second target.
Okay.
Opportunity 3 that day was actually on what, the NASDAQ, NQ?
NQ, right.
It has SO, meaning it's stopped out. So this is where the integrity is, that, you know, we're counting everything.
That's right.
So in this particular deal, you notice there's a little red box in that area where it says SO. If you'll hover over it, it triggered.
Oh my goodness, you did a great job on this. Russell triggered 3 times. However, it never hit targets. How do we document this?
So this is something you and I need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But again, integrity is everything.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I'm trying to put that in there for now. And, you know, as we continue to build this and grow it, I just want to be 100% on board.
Absolutely, no. And so we already had it noted in the beta results that it stopped out. And so how do we address the fact? I think probably putting these notes, we'll fine tune it, but you're absolutely on the right track.
So if you scroll down now to just my summary, which is kind of where you started up this page, So go down to where it says beta summary on the lower left.
Okay.
So that's where I'm kind of looking. Since we're talking about stop outs, if you look, I've got 10 in there.
Okay.
What that doesn't show in that particular situation, this is what I want to talk to you about, is that because I'm only counting the trade going one time, even though it triggered multiple times and stopped out each time, how do we document that if we're going to try to, look at percentages? Granted, not everybody's going to take the trade all 3 times.
Right.
So that's just something you and I need to talk about. But that's kind of where I'm at. If you want to, at the bottom of the page, you'll see there's another tab that says recaps.
And the same holds true because, like, well, we've already covered this part. Like on that last trade that I was just talking about, on that crude trade, it hit the final, it triggered and hit the final target twice. But for the record, we're just going to count once. So let's discuss it. In fact, maybe when we have our next group meeting, maybe we'll have a couple of ideas to put on the table, and then those who are members can perhaps cast a vote on how they would like to best, because it's all transparent. There's no hiding anything, because the alert goes out and then the market does what the market does. So we want to make sure that however we notate it, that the transparency and the integrity is never in question. That is so important to me.
So while you're on this page right here, let's look at 731, and you'll notice that I've got the YM, which is the Dow. You gave out the initial trigger and it hit its target, but that same day you came back and gave 2 more opportunities for it.
Okay.
One of them stopped out, and one of them ran and hit the target again. And those are what are highlighted in green over on the right-hand side. But I wanted to highlight that because that's a little different than the standard 6 or 8 markets that we typically watch.
Are you saying because is it because there were multiple alerts on those days, or?
Yes. So you gave an alert. Let me see here if I can pull up that day.
Here's how multiple alerts might come into play, guys. Let's say the S&P is at 2,500, and I'm just pulling a number out of the air here, but let's say the S&P is at 2,500, and I send out an alert. I want you to consider selling 24.98 to 24.95. But instead of moving down, it shoots up to 25.25. Whoa. There's nothing that can happen above that will affect the trade idea that we had below. And that'll sink in over time. So now we have a valid trade opportunity down at 24.98 to 24.95. The price is now sitting way up at 25.25. Well, in order for us to take advantage of that alert, 24.98 to 24.95, price has to get there. So we might end up saying something like, consider selling. It'll start out with, we have an open alert number so-and-so, still viable. However, on the way there, consider selling 25.20 to 25.10 to 25.100. If final trigger is hit, then be prepared to take action on alert number so-and-so, because now it's got us back to that place where we put out that original get short. You follow me? That's one of the reasons that there would be 2 open alerts at one time on one trade. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, let's face it, the market reverses.
Yeah, it does. And so that doesn't mean, back to the drawing board, oh, we were wrong. No, we weren't wrong. 98 to 95, that's a smoking hot opportunity, and it will remain a smoking hot opportunity until price gets there. And there's only one thing that can change that. If the original was to sell 24.98, let's say price does come careening down and it gets to 24.90, 24.98.75. Comes within 3 ticks of trigger. And then, runs up a few points. What I might potentially do is I might come in and I might adjust that entry price down by a point, because I don't trust new highs, near new highs, swing lows, etc. of just a couple ticks or even a point, sometimes even 2 if the ranges are wide. So if we were originally going to get in at 24.98, the thing that's changed below is we got within a couple ticks of the price and then ran the other way. So I'll fully note it. I'll say we have an open trade. I am modifying the entry by 1.2 points, whatever the case might be. Now, that doesn't change the target. And if modifying the entry price means there's not enough room to run to the target, then we would have to cancel that and call it a no trigger, because it never triggered. It came close, but because it was only a 3-point trade to start with, by the time we have to shave 1 or 2 points off the entry to make it, viable, there's nothing left. So over time, and guys, if you read the notes, and that's important, if you're reading the notes and looking at the charts, and I try to be as clear as I can, you should start to kind of fall into step or feel the rhythm or something along those lines, okay? And wherever you feel out of the loop, odd man out, not quite sure, whatever the case might be, that's when you go and book a one-on-one mentoring session. And then you and I, in a go-to meeting room with no distractions, no other people, talking like it's a telephone call. We go through the charts, we go through the trades, we go through alerts, we go through setups, whatever it is you need. 45 minutes. You absorb it, you put it into action. A few days later, we get back together, a week later, whatever you want, and we keep working it and working it until you go, ah. And then we move on to the next lesson, whatever that is. Okay, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And I'm going to, is there a place on here that I could type something?
Yeah. Try typing right now. I think I have it locked on you.
Hang on a second. Here's all I wanted to do. Is I wanted to put this little disclaimer. We're going to type just a, can I just go down here to a line and just type?
Actually, if you'll go up to the middle of the boxes where I'm putting in the stop outs and target hits
right
and all
here?
that stuff. Yeah, any of that area. Keep going up to your right.
To my right?
Yeah, and now up into the data field. So down, anywhere in those boxes there, if you just start typing.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? That's going to mess up your...
yeah, shouldn't I go below it all? Like this?
Yeah, but I've got all those fields locked.
Oh.
I think. Try it and see.
I'll try it.
Oh.
Trading is
It's
risky, not suitable for all people. Consult with a licensed investment professional before making an investment decision. This information Not a solicitation to buy or sell. We're a provider of education, news, and training. Use of this website and services. Firms you have read all. How do I kick it down to another line? Should be able to just. Can't seem to get a cursor.
Go back to the very beginning on the far left-hand side where you pasted that.
Yeah.
Go up one box. Yeah, so right there you should now be able to go to the data entry at the top. Go above. Oh gosh. Scroll down, down, down. You'll see the information is actually right above where the LOGIC247 opportunity is typed in. Yeah, it's not going to grab it there. You've got to go up into the data box.
Okay,
press your up arrow.
Where's the data box?
Yeah, go press your up arrow once.
Up arrow once. Okay.
You clicked. So you've got the box highlighted A40 right now.
Okay.
Go to
Escape.
839.
I hit escape.
Yeah, so 8039.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if you go up right above where the A and the 1 are together for your rows and columns, you'll see all the information is typed in right above that. Keep going.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
So now highlight any words. Highlight any words in there, and you can cut and paste from there.
Use of this website and services. Okay. Okay. Control C. Okay, how do I back that out up here?
Go back to where you cut it from. And just re-highlight what you just pasted. So starting with the firms.
Website and services of firms. Okay,
so from there, and now press your delete button.
Won't delete.
It should delete.
Yeah, I can't get backspace or delete. How about clear?
Press your space bar.
All right, guys. You know what it means. You know, it's pretty clear. All right, let's see what other questions we got. Is there a place where you can put the actual number of the alerts that are still open on this chart? Yeah, Gary. And just as I did with the beta test, I've got the numbers. It's just a matter of typing them in. Okay. Now the results from the past week, I did them the other night, or at least I thought I did. I'm gonna post it tonight. Let me just. I'm not gonna. I want to redo them, but the numbers for the past week, percentage-wise, were better than the beta numbers. So, but I'm not real big on running around bragging about that percentage, because let me just. I'm going to explain this one last time before we have to go. If you go to a baseball game and you watch a baseball player throw a no-hitter, you walk down on the mound using the same glove and the same ball, pitching to the same batters. Does that mean you can now throw a no-hitter? Or let's say you go to a ball game and you watch a guy step up to the plate, points to the right field, pitcher hurls a fastball, bat meets ball, ball sails over the fence. Now, if you wore his shoes and held his bat and stood in the exact same place, and the pitcher threw the exact same ball, is there any reason in the world to believe that you're going to hit a home run and knock it over the fence? No. That's how they get you. That's how they deceive you. That's how they trick you. So, you know, if you don't do business with us, we'll miss you, and it's a shame. I'd love to have met you and become your friend, but don't let yourself get taken advantage of out there. Okay, these parlor tricks are just a dime a dozen, and what's so sinister is the very thing that you think makes it real is the very thing you're begging them for, something that they know will be their ultimate tool in pulling the wool over your eyes. Just don't until you can see it, until you can do it. I mean, I could spend however long teaching you how to play baseball. I can't make you a baseball player, and I sure can't tell you that someday you'll pitch for the Yankees. Well, I could tell you that 89% of the time, but I won't. So I wanted to give everyone a copy of this. Is this ready for prime time? Could we do that now that we have our disclaimer on it? Russell, what do you think? I can just put it in the chat box. And
yeah,
it says, or do you think we should wait?
I'll have something ready for prime time by the end of tonight.
Okay, well then, based on his professional opinion, and I respect it very much, what we will do is tonight, everyone who attended today, we will send you a copy of this. You'll then still be able to use the links that I just gave you, that I've been giving you every day since the beta test began. You can go, you can look, you can watch, pick up, handle, fondle, whatever, ask questions. It's all there. Everything's there. You can ask any question that you want. Now, there was a special price given to those who participated in the beta test. There is additional incentive for those who did not participate in the beta test. And that incentive is that these are not our permanent prices. We have a focus group, we're getting a feedback report, and we're getting retail price guidance. So the price will change. Yes, it will be higher. This isn't some arm twisting thing to make you sign up today. I'm just telling you because I went through this with the concierge trade alerts. Okay, people had an opportunity to beta test those for 3 years. I think they came out at 1995, and then they went to, I think, 34, and then I think they went to 79, and they're 10 grand a year now. Okay, I don't know where this product will actually end up price wise. I just know for a fact it will be north of here, possibly not all of the bonuses intact. So the amount of money involved is it's substantial, okay, but when you compare it to what you receive for what you pay compared to some of the other things available, if you don't see the value, then you should not take part in it. If you see the value, then absolutely we invite you to become a part of the family. Now, is there anyone here who does not know how to get signed up, how to get your service turned on, how to get your data flowing tonight? Now, I can't get it flowing instantly because I'm 50 minutes behind on my Sunday night schedule, which for me, not bad, I guess, considering. Let me look for any other quick questions. Dwayne, I'll follow up with another email. Okay. Let me scroll down. Is there a place where you can put the actual number of the alerts that are still open on this chart and on Telegram somewhere? Yeah, as soon as I can tonight, Gary. Well, all you got to do, oh, it's very simple. Here, look. Everybody look, let me show you this. Okay, you go to this week's channel, which is right here. Okay, this is our first week coming out of the gate. So you go all the way to the top for last week, and we start with alert number 1. Okay, no, alert number 1. Final recap. Reached 14 ticks of the 16-point target, 87.5%. Final recap. Alert number 2. 32 points available, $5 per point, $160 per contract available. Reached the initial 30-point target. Sell the NQ. Recap. Final. You want to go to final recap. Reached 67.5% of only target. Okay. Final recap, no trigger. Final recap, no trigger. And you'll find just notes and things you should read in between. Coming down, coming down. Final recap. Price reached all 3 targets. Final recap. Soybeans closed early. We closed 1 tick off the high of the day with a bullish 30-minute candle. And then there's a lot of descriptions about what can happen, but the final, as we discussed, beans did open and run, taking us to within 1 tick of the final target. 7 out of 8 points reached. And there's my soybean farmer. Alert number 8. Final recap. Reached 10-point target plus. Number 9. Alert triggered and price is now at the target. Get down to the final recap. Price reached target and could still be trailed more. Price is currently $11.84, $1,500 per contract available and still falling. But for the record, we're just going to call it 5 times 100 because that's what the original trade was. And I think we all know it fell further than that. Number 10, final recap. 11, recap, final recap. Okay, so anyone that you find, Gary, that does not have a final recap, okay, then that's open. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see what else is here. Okay, so that covered that. Now, I think I've answered most of the questions that I see. Real quick, guys, if you have a question that did not get answered and you would like it answered right now, you know, what does it cost? What do I get? All of that. Just post in the box and I'll do my best to answer. But I got, you know, my typical Sunday is 2 p.m. after church, 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern. No, 2 p.m. Phoenix to 2 a.m. Eastern. Or 5 a.m. Eastern, I should say. So I have to get on that. I'd love to hang out with you guys, answer more questions. But as we're heading into the second week, and as the price increase eventually will come, and again, I'm not Cal Worthington. I'm not Crazy Eddie. I'm not going to stand on my head, you know, to make you buy this product. If you see the value in it, then you certainly should have it. If you don't see the value, I don't want to try to convince you. There's value that you don't, if it doesn't leap out at you, then it doesn't mean you could never use it. It just means that maybe you're not quite ready for it yet, and you come back and revisit it at some point down the road. Okay. Was there any final copy and paste? Is there a play? Nope. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to run now. If you go, I put the free links in to the beta test recap, beta test discussion. Those are all free, open to the public. If you qualify for the beta test pricing, email me support@cfrn.net. I will send you the link. If you don't qualify for the beta tester pricing, you might still call me or email me, support@cfrn.net, or just go to eminitrading.com, and you've got an annual option, you've got a lifetime option. Although I don't know what the final price will ultimately be when we have our meeting and with our directors and make our decision, but I'm confident the annual will cost more than the lifetime costs now. So do with that whatever you want. You know, if there's something, you know, and some people will use this service not so much as to trade every alert that comes down the pike, but because they're, you know, a pretty good trader on their own, it'll become like a verification system for them. They spot a trade and they look at that Dwayne. He sees it too. Does that give you an added level of confidence? Perhaps. Is it a guarantee that it's going to ring the bell? No, because none of us knows what is going to happen next. People have written books, made movies, built websites, trying to convince you they do, but they don't. Okay? Now, we do use the mind God gave us to find situations that have a higher probability and a lower risk of going from here to here than from here to here. Beyond that, we got nothing but the love of Jesus. And we wait for it to work its way through, and with no emotion, move on to the next trade. If you're still suffering from the emotional, you know, backlash of trading, you need some mentoring sessions. You've got to calm down. You've got to relax. You've got to understand that being stopped out on a trade, number one, is going to happen. It's going to happen a lot. The best trader on the planet consistently cannot be profitable more than 70% of the time on his good days. When you come out of your office from trading, your spouse, who knows you better than anyone, should not be able to tell from your face if you just made 10 grand or invested 10 grand in your business. Because you see, that's your inventory. The orders that get stopped out, as traders, we don't have a lot of expenses. The biggest expense we have are the trades that get stopped out. When you learn to think of it like that, like the sandwich man over at Subway, he got to get some more turkey, he got to get some ham, he got to get some provolone and some Swiss. Now, can you imagine him banging his head on the wall of his office going, oh my God, if I have to keep buying these meats and these cheeses and baking all this bread, how will I ever make money? Really? Think that through, sir. Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and send the delivery. I hope you all laughed. Any final question? I got to go, guys. I love you. We can do another webinar this week. If somebody says, hey, could we get together as a group Tuesday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern? If I can, I will. This is a departure from what we do in the morning, okay? And this takes nothing away from that, okay? Learning rules-based trading is one of the most important things, I think. It will make you a better discretionary trader. Now, if you happen to be that rare individual who is neither CFRN partner nor LOGIC247 member, if you contact me tonight, by this time tomorrow, you could be both. Russell, thanks so much for all your help.
My pleasure.
It gives me confidence when I know you're in the audience, and confidence to know that you're working on this thing. And when you shoot it over to me, I will send it out to the good folks. 10-4.
I will have it completed tonight.
Man, you're the best. Thanks so much. And I will see you all at the bell, on the radio, round town, however it plays out. Happy Sunday. If you're done trading, go spend time, quality time with your family. I'll work enough for both of us. Promise. Take care. See you in the morning.